what's that thriving? This is something very special. It's something that I have been going through, and I'm quite sure you have been going through, and that's the relationship between the uh, uh, you and your caregiver, and also is something that you as an individual needs to do. Is something that will help us as we go to recovery. It is very important to have our minds and our emotions uh, in place where they are balanced enough that to handle the trauma that we have gone through. So today's guest, she's a member of uh, the Daniels Den. You heard me say it time and time again. And Daniels Den, and she's a good psychiatrist. I wish she was in Maryland for me, but she's out in Arizona. But she's so smart, intelligent, really. Uh, she has the cool, you know, the cool persona. But she could be your mama too. She said, but they said, mm. Yeah. So I'm going to issue you should do. I could go on coach Katrina, but what is the full doctor's name?
So I am not a doctor, Steve. I am a licensed professional counselor.
Oh,
I want to clarify that. A lot of people call me doctor, and I'm like, I clarify as often as I possibly can. I try to clarify it because I don't want to get into board or nothing. And I'm not trying to write a dissertation yet. So
oh, okay. Well, so you are counselor.
yes, a licensed professional
Yeah,
counselor.
who's very, very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have had some talks about my journey, and she has helped me to get myself together, and she worked on some of the emotions I was going through by giving me an affirmation licks and how to have affirmation links, and she has given me so much advice. I mean, man, has really been there for me. So I want to be on here for you all, you guys. And so, Katrina, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm not Steve's counselor. I am his den mate, right? Den mate. So my goal is to really just help provide some support any way I can to those that I care about as well. So I've actually been in the field for about 8 years.
Wow,
Um, I think it might be a little bit longer than 8 years. It's almost 10 years. So,
wow.
but I didn't want to come into the field. Like counseling was something that I decided when I was 13 that I was not going to do. So I had an opportunity. My grandfather is a an ordained bishop, and then
Yeah.
in Houston, and he's also a social worker as
Oh,
well
okay.
as a Christian psychologist.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
when I was 13, I got an opportunity to volunteer at the VA hospital, and then he made a comment while I was there with him this summer. Um, that summer, he said, many clinicians and many people in this field have more problems than their clients do. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going into this field.
But ta-da, here you are.
Yes, yes. I ended up going into the field when I found people were coming to me for advice, and I'm like, I'm gonna mess somebody up, and I didn't want to mess anybody up. So I
Yeah.
went to learn how to give advice, and then I learned that you are not supposed to be an advice giver, but you're supposed to help people come to, find,
Yeah, yeah,
the decisions, get to the point to where they make changes on their own.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of how I came into this.
Wow, wow. I'm so happy that you are here, and I hope that I got some good questions for you. Because I go through. I'm a member of like 7 or 8 stroke survivor groups, and I have noticed certain things, and I believe that counseling is number one on the list for a stroke survivor, along with the caretakers, uh, to find better health mentally and emotionally. And so the first question I have for you is, how does counseling support stroke survivors and the caretakers rebuilding their lives post stroke mentally, emotionally, and physically?
Well, when it comes to stroke survivors, as well as someone who might be told that they're borderline, about to have a stroke, I think
Yeah.
counseling really is there to help you learn to effectively
Hmm.
manage your emotions and your stress.
Yes.
Because when you really think about what led you to the stroke, was like an overwhelming sense of having to take care of things going on in your life, your
Yeah.
health. There were just a
Yeah.
lot of things that contributed,
Yeah.
right, to you getting to the point to where you are now a stroke survivor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we learn to effectively manage our stress, right, effectively manage our emotions, uh,
Yes.
I think that's where we began to see changes. We began to see growth. We began to see healing, experience healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, it's going to take like that awareness that we needed.
Yeah. 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 I mean, stress management, my stress management was terrible before I had the stroke. Um, and now is the day happy with that, and so did you. But I've gotten better, and when I have strength, I know how to diffuse it for your advice. That's why you're here.
Yeah. But
Um,
Steve, I would imagine that it got worse before it got better, right? Because now you're dealing with the impact of the stroke on top of all the stresses that you had before.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But once you gave me the tools in order to bring my strength down, I got better. Uh, I love to doing these videos that stress is the number one cause for high blood pressure. And high blood pressure is the number one cause for either a heart attack or a stroke. So I had to really give myself to a point where I had to listen to somebody else, somebody with a different perspective, and you did that for me. Um, uh, and he's a sidebar question. Why do you think that people don't want to go see a counselor when they really need it?
Well, I think that actually connects to the cultural aspect of it too, right? When you think
Yeah,
about people. especially in our culture, right?
Yeah.
There's a stigma attached to counseling,
Mm.
right? Because for a while, when you think about counseling, someone might think about the fact, oh, that means there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at it from the aspect of, I'm dealing with stress, I got a lot on my plate. They're not
Yeah.
looking at what they're looking at is there's something wrong with me. I'm mentally incapable.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the stigma, and then I think with culturally, it goes back to it dates all the way back to slavery, honestly.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I learned that there was a for a slave that ran away.
Yeah.
And this is Black History Month, right? So a little
Yeah.
bit of Black history.
Yeah.
For a slave that ran away, they got diagnosed with like a clinical mental illness. It was called dysthymia or something like that. But there was a
What?
diagnosis that they would give to,
Wow.
yeah, a slave that would. So, you know, I think if people don't want anyone to think that there is something wrong with them, when
Right.
sometimes it's just like, I need somebody to talk to.
And I don't know how we got together, but I mean, you notice there was something wrong, and maybe left the didn't know some things when I was discussing things, and you kind of pulled up at my coattail, and I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Now the second question is what ways in what ways does counseling contribute to improving communication and coping mechanisms? Because I cope with my strengths before this book with double cheeseburgers and french fries, a whole lot of them. But anyway, so coping mechanism within the dynamic of strokes of our caregiver relationship, and how does this impact overall family functioning and support?
Well, when it comes to counseling, like for instance, with me, when I work with, I'm trained in trauma. So, but I also work with couples and I work with children. I'm trained in birth to five as well. So I have a dynamic of people that I deal with. But primarily when we're dealing with communication, everybody can learn to communicate better and more
Yeah,
effectively. When we're dealing with health issues and health concerns, for one, I think we don't want to see the six and the nine, right? So
yeah,
you have the person who has experienced the health issue,
yeah.
who has stressors and their own internalized feelings and emotions that they're dealing with.
I know about that.
Right. And then you have the caregiver on this side who's also dealing with the
Yeah.
overwhelming stress of what is now our new way of living.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's my wife, Danisha. Yeah,
And when you're dealing with someone who is empathetic and they're caring, they may not want to be honest with you and tell you, right, I need some time, I need a break. So I think
yeah,
being able to communicate,
yeah,
that and also give yourself grace on both sides. I think that's
yeah,
where we in essence, I think all couples, right? And whether all relationships, because it could be a
yeah,
child taking care of a parent, they can just become frustrated with one
yeah,
another.
yeah,
But on the side, when it comes to the caregiver, on the side of that frustration, there's also they carry a feeling of guilt, right? To where sometimes they don't want to leave your side. They don't, they
yeah,
feel guilty about needing a break
yeah,
or
yeah,
needing that time. And I think it's just so important to communicate where you are, what you're feeling, and then take advantage of the support system that you
yeah,
have, the people that you have in place,
yeah,
to really help you through and take that time. I'm one of those who's big on taking who who I believe that, and our pastor said it in one of his sermons, I think it was last week, when he was talking about loving your neighbor as yourself, that as is such it's
Yeah.
a part of that. It's only
Yeah.
2 letters in that scripture, but loving your neighbor as yourself is an indication that I know how to take care of myself. So I'm
Yeah.
going to take care of me so I can effectively take
Yes.
care of you.
Yes. Yes. I really made sure before I got out of rehab that my wife wouldn't have to deal with anything. I could clean myself. I could cook. I could do the dishes. My PT, she went really good with me as far as that is concerned. I could do anything. I could drive, go to the store. So I made sure that I was in the rehab for about a year. So I had a lot of time. I invested a lot of time to get right before I came out. Um, so and when she needs time by herself, I let her go.
But and so here's the thing. Remember, so the 6 and the 9, right? Because on the other side of that, Steve, is the extra stress now that you're carrying on making sure that that person does not have to do all these extra things that you're going to require.
Yeah,
So now
yeah,
you don't even give yourself grace,
yeah.
which you know what that's contributing to?
What?
More stress
Oh
and
man,
more worry.
I don't know. I didn't want that. I didn't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. So because you're worried about that. And so it's just giving each other grace in this new season. And we're gonna
Yeah,
walk alongside one another when you're in this season, communicating what you're experiencing and what you're feeling, because we have to give grace on both sides and give
yeah,
grace to ourselves.
yeah, yeah. And look, I put that in my affirmations. If Christ gave me grace, that I need to give me grace too.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, this is so good. Last question. How do cultural factors and individual preferences influence the effectiveness, oh, I said that word, and acceptance of counseling about school survivors and the caretakers?
Well, we talked earlier about the cultural aspect of it, because some people are like, I don't need anybody in my business. I don't need anybody telling me what to do
Yeah.
too. Right?
Yeah.
Um, And so, if counseling is going to be effective, I think with anybody, we have to be willing to accept the truth, and we have
Yeah.
to be willing to look at ourselves, right? Because that awareness is a big piece. We can't change anything unless we are aware that something is going on. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, if you were one of the things that I teach is under, like, it's a SUD system, the subjective unit distress
Yeah.
scale. And I use the hope as a key identifier for understanding and recognizing when we are experiencing
Yeah.
something. And so when we're aware of it, we need to make sure that we communicate it,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
we need to also accept that, you know what, I am feeling this. This is real,
Yeah.
right? And until we accept it, we can't make a change, because so
Yeah.
many times we want to just like, that's nothing. Everybody deals with something, like everybody deals with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what? Everybody deals with it. That doesn't mean you don't take care of it,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
right?
Me and Danisha have done a great job of made a safe place to let each other say those feelings that really are kind of taboo. Like
Uh-huh.
she will come and tell me her stuff. I don't like it, but I have to accept it because she has to have a safe space to say it. And I let her say it, and she does the same for me. So, man, I really want to keep on asking you questions, but we gotta go. But I want to say thank you for just being the woman you are, and the fantastic counselor that you are, and your insight is phenomenal. Well, how could anybody get in contact with you?
Well, so I have our website. My business is Wholeness to Peace Care Services.
Okay.
But we primarily focus on clinic, like on services within the state of Arizona.
Okay. Okay.
But I know you keep talking about like the affirmations and some of the tools that I gave you. So I do have a book called Mirror Work, Mirror
Okay.
Work that Works, and it's just an easy, quick, step-by-step guide. I don't give a lot of commentary in the book. I
Yeah.
take you through how to just deal with some of the things that you deal with. And there's a
Yeah.
workbook that comes along with it. And the workbook it has some repetitive pages because the truth of the matter is if we don't continue to repeat what we're learning new, then it won't become the new normal for us. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying to find that new normal.
yeah,
I
it's
I I think I have gotten a clear picture of it, but I still gotta work on some things.
the
Yeah.
key is every day, right? Doing something different every
Yes. Every
day.
day. Katrina, thanks for being on my podcast, and I enjoyed talking to you. And this won't be the last time that you be on here. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, y'all. God bless you. I love you, and I'm gonna see you the next time.
All right, bye, thrivers.
Yeah.